Let's get back to the Fair Pay to Play Act. Since LeBron James's post this morning, there have been mixed reactions across the NCAA to this controversial topic. The Pac-12 issued this statement discussing their disappointment on the new law. They, quote, firmly believe all reforms must treat student athletes as students pursuing an education, not professional athletes. I had the chance to get the reaction of Professor Ben Carrington, who believes that the legislation takes big strides, but could still do more to support the athletes' rights.
This doesn't have to say anything about whether or not student athletes should be paid directly, and I think they should do. So the big change really is to give rights and kind of ownership to the student athletes over their likeness, their image, and the types of activities they might get in outside of campus, and to get paid for it.
With this news breaking today, we can only expect more reaction across the NCAA, and more will be there to cover it all. Be sure to follow along by following us on Twitter at @AnnMediaSports. USC has a much-needed bye week this week before facing number 9 Notre Dame in South Bend next weekend. The Trojans fell in Washington, losing 28-14. This was another tough road loss, looking a little too similar to the previous one. Quarterback Matt Fink ran into the same problem Kedon Slovis did 2 weeks ago at BYU, throwing 3 interceptions. The Husky secondary not allowing Fink and company to take off with their air raid offense. Luckily, the Trojans found a little relief in their run game. USC's 212 rushing yards in Saturday's game have been the highest yardage in a game by the Trojan backs so far this season. By the numbers, the Trojans held their own, but it was yet again those 3 interceptions on critical plays that killed their chances of winning the game. As if one loss wasn't enough for USC athletics, Lauren has more on the other Trojan losses. Lauren?
That's right, Tyler. It was a rough weekend for USC athletics with major losses within very talented teams. The number 3 USC women's soccer suffered a loss to Stanford at their Pac-12 opener. This marked the first loss of the year for the Trojans, who are now 7-1-1 overall. Here's what junior Ashley Plumter had to say about the disappointing loss.
It's good for the freshmen, the underclassmen, to know, like, okay, this is a loss and we can't get complacent now, especially how the other teams in the conference are doing. We can't take Arizona lightly.
Another team that struggled this weekend was USC men's water polo. They took part in the SoCal Invitational this weekend, winning the first match, but they fell to number 4 Pacific University. They ended the tournament in 5th place after a slim victory against Cal. The Trojans will have the chance to climb back up the rankings with their upcoming games against UC Irvine and UCSB this week. On a winning note, USC's freshman golfer Yuxin Lin of China became the 2-time Asia Pacific Amateur Champion this weekend. With this win, Lin has not only earned a spot in the 149th Open, but a spot in the 2019 Masters as well. USC's men's golf shared a tweet about his success as the second golfer ever to win this tournament 2 times. Here's what Lin had to say after his win.
Being able to get back to the Augusta and the British Open is just a really great, I'm a little bit speechless at the moment, but it's just a great feeling, and then I can't wait to get back to those 2 amazing major championships.
Lin will step onto a bigger stage as he continues to prepare for the Masters and 2020 Open in the UK. That about wraps it up for USC Sports. Back to you at the desk, Tyler.
Thank you, Lauren. As the quarterback curse continues to loom over the NFL, former Trojan Matt Barkley saw some playtime yesterday after the Bills' starting quarterback Josh Allen had to leave the game with a concussion. Barkley, who threw 9 of 16 for 127 yards, unfortunately sealed their loss to the Patriots after throwing an interception in the final minutes of the game. Now, maybe Matt Fink and Matt Barkley could have a little chat about the interceptions. That would be an interesting conversation to kind of listen to. I know it was a tough game for Matt Fink on Saturday. Did you guys have the chance to tune in?
Yeah, I did. And I think what's hard is to ask a quarterback with not that much experience to go into a hostile place like UW, a consistent college football playoff contender. You're going up there on the road. It's another ranked team, ranked matchup opponent. To go in an air raid offense to defense like that, it's just tough.
And I know Kedon Slovis touched on how hard it is to bounce back from the mentality of knowing that you're the second string. So I can only imagine how Matt Fink felt after being named the 3rd string, to bounce back from that and to carry his team into Washington territory. I know that's tough. They have a bye week, so hopefully Kedon Slovis can get cleared, not only get cleared, but have some time on the practice field with the boys. So we'll see next week at Notre Dame.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I cannot even imagine.
All right.
Coming up, Jewish people around the world are celebrating.
We'll find out how students are making Rosh Hashanah here at USC.
Meet the Scale.